Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shailyn Adanya if you're new, and if you're not, welcome back. As you can see, the background's a little different. I'm actually in my childhood room. Every single time I visit family and I come back in the room where I grew up in, I'm always like, I had really good taste, because even to this day, I still love the decorations in this room. But welcome to my channel and my room. This is like where it all began. In this house I filmed my first YouTube video ever. But that is not what this video is about at all. Let's continue our series with cultivating that woman mentality. This video is really about us getting a bigger picture and understanding the power that we have as being a woman. Women really underestimate their God-given power, the power that God just decided to bestow upon women. And we either brush past it because we don't know or we don't care, or for the women who do know the power that they hold, they decide to use that power for bad by being the seductress and the foolish women, using their power that they know that God gave them to lead men astray, because they think that seduction is what it means to be in your dark feminine energy. That is not what dark feminine energy is. Our womanly bodies are literal gardens. When you look at pictures of a woman's body in the anatomy, you see literal flowers in them. We are literally gardens, and I came with some biblical texts to back me up on my statement. So we're gonna rewind. We're not going to fast forward. We're going to rewind back to the book of Genesis, where God created man. And when I read this verse and you hear what I'm going to say after, then you'll understand where I'm coming from, and you'll truly understand and see from a different perspective the power that you actually hold from being a woman. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground." And that's verse 27 and 28. Now we're going to fast forward to chapter 2 in the book of Genesis, where it talks about God making Adam and Eve. And if you know the story, God put Adam to a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, God took out the rib of Adam to make Eve. And then he closed his rib in the place of flesh. So think about that. God planted Adam's rib into Eve to create the woman. And all throughout the Bible, when it talks about reproduction, it talks about planting the seed in the woman's womb to bear fruit. And it's so beautiful how the first woman created in the Garden of Eden was spoken of as a garden. Plant a seed in her, she bears fruit. And that fruit is a child, and the Bible talks about children being a blessing. So no, I don't think it's a coincidence when you look at the anatomy pictures of women and their breasts are like flowers, and women have the literal ability to create life in their bodies with their wombs that God blesses them with. So when I say that as women we are to treat our body as a temple and our mind as a garden, our mind is just a small part of the garden. Our full garden that we are blessed with the responsibility to take care of is our entire being. Because not only do we have the power to create life as women, but it's the women who makes the house into a home. It's the women who set the vibe and the tone for the whole environment in the house. Which, knowing that, it's even more important that you take that power seriously and you treat your energy as something sacred and to not be disrupted, because it is. You guys see those TikTok trends where you give a woman a house, she makes it into a home. You give a woman groceries, she makes it into a meal. You give a woman a bad attitude. You give a woman a bad attitude and you make her upset, she might just be a ticking time bomb for you. Why? Because every single thing, good or bad, that is poured into a woman is multiplied. And that's not just a woman being hormonal. That is how God designed us. He designed us women to be multipliers of everything we touch. That is why it's so important to keep our energy sacred and to have boundaries and be very strict with ourselves and what we choose to allow into our lives. Because whatever it is, we're going to multiply it. It's just naturally what happens. So where does the role for a man, for the husband, play out in all of this? The Bible talks about men being leaders and protectors and providers. And it talks about, I don't remember the specific Ephesians. It's got to be Ephesians 5. Where it talks about Christ is the head of the husband and the husband is the head of the wife, and the husband is to treat his wife like Christ treats the church and to love her and purify her with the washing of the word. And when I think about that, I think of us women being as gardens. And when you pour into a woman, you need to pour love into a woman. And what does the Bible describe as love? Love being patient, kind, gentle. I'm looking over here because this little post-it right here, when I was like in high school, I wrote, what is this, 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4-7, and it describes what love is. So I'm just reading it off of this so I don't have to go and search for it in the Bible. But it says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way, but it is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And then it goes to say how love never fails and how men are to honor and love their wives. So when you think about what does love mean, that's what love is. So when God tells the men to love their wives and wash them and purify them with the word, that is them tending to the garden that God blessed them with, because he who finds a wife finds a good thing. God gave them that beautiful garden, that wife that is far more precious than jewels. They're to take care of it and they're to tend to it. And when men tend to it and purify their woman with the word, that is them growing their garden. It talks about it in the Bible, one of the Bibles, one of the books, Matthew, Luke, John, Mark, one of them. But, okay, I don't remember. But basically, Jesus was talking about bearing fruit. A good tree can't bear bad fruit, whereas a bad tree, all it can bear is bad fruit. So when men are tending to their garden, what are they washing it with? Are they treating their garden with love and gentleness, or are they treating it with verbal abuse or physical abuse, or neglecting their garden, or manipulating their garden, or just not tending to it at all? Because what they pour out into their relationship and into the woman, she's gonna multiply, because she is the garden. That's just what we do as women. And that's not a bad thing. You can multiply and you create hundreds of anything. That also goes to say, make sure you pick them right. Whatever man you choose to let lead you, make sure he's the right one. Test him with how he's gonna treat you. What's the book that Steve Harvey made? Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. In the book, he talks about all the stages of emotions: sad, angry, upset. Test them. Like, study how they react in those stages. See how they treat you. That did kind of differ from our topic, but it had to be said, so let's continue. Next, I want to talk about menstrual cycles. There's, which I've actually wondered for a long time. I always have it in my head. My cramps are like kind of horrible sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, why did God even give women periods? Like, what is it for? Some people believe that it was a punishment from Eve eating the fruit, and how this is just part of the punishment. Part of me sometimes believe that cramps were preparing me for contractions so I could build up my pain tolerance. That's also part of the reason why I refuse medication for cramps. And then I learned that cramps aren't really something you should normalize, but we'll get into that in a whole different video. This time, I'm gonna do my little notepad here. I took notes. I came prepared. This way, I heard, was that menstrual cycles, when women bleed monthly, that is God purifying the womb for a child. And then I have a verse here. I knew you when I knit you in your mother's womb. It goes to say how Jesus, he died on the cross for our sins, and he shed blood to purify us. And when women have their monthly menstrual cycles and they bleed, it purifies the womb for a future child. Of course, I don't think I'll ever know which reason it is for menstrual cycles. I've never heard that side before about why women have periods, and I think that's so beautiful how God just purifies your womb to make room for a gift. So I just thought that was so beautiful. We see the true power that we have as women, how we are designed, how our God-given gift and power is designed to give life to children and literally everything we touch. When you work hard, you start a business, you see the results, and it just multiplies and it manifests. Or you put time in your relationship and it multiplies and flourishes into something beautiful because you put God at the center of it, but also because you actually tended to it and you nurtured it, because we are natural nurturers. That is how we are naturally designed, and that's not something you should want to fight to get rid of within you. It's like we're just having girl talk right now. I love it. Alright, so now it's time to really open our minds and understand that women are the reason for literally everything that men do. When it comes to providing, protecting, wanting to earn money, wanting to build their status, women are the reason as to why men do literally everything and wanting to make something for themselves. The making something for themselves, that's them finding their purpose. That's how God designed them, to want to actually go out and explore the world and make something of themselves, but it's also for women too. When you have a man that really loves you and he wants to just provide for you because that's how God made him, what does he want to do? He wants to earn his money to provide and give to you. It's like 50-50 as to why men work hard. They work hard for themselves, but they also work hard for women because it gets them money, and they think it gets them a higher status. Money, protecting, providing, sex. Women are the reason why men want to do it all. So with having that knowledge of the power that you actually truly hold when it comes to men, you have to handle that power with responsibility. Because having that power that you have in men who subconsciously but not consciously know the power that you have over them, the subconscious man is a man that will do anything because he's obsessed with you, because he wants to sleep with you, but he doesn't know why. He's just like, oh, I gotta have that girl. The conscious man, he understands that women have power. He understands that women can lead them astray, and that they're just women, and a good woman is the one that actually matters. That is the difference between a man who subconsciously knows and a man who does know. And the man who subconsciously knows, he's not really all there yet. He's just like, oh, I want the women. That's the man that's dangerous to society. Because that is the man that's going to allow a foolish woman to lead him astray. And when you lead him astray, how is he supposed to lead anything? And if the same man can be led astray over and over and over again because he likes it, or because he just doesn't understand the true power that women actually hold, he's not a leader. So we're going to go into Proverbs chapter 7. I know that might have come off as a little harsh, but it's the truth. Have you guys actually read the book of Proverbs like every single day? A friend of mine, we would do Bible studies, and she told me how her pastor, how they would read the Bible based off the dates. So, and she did Proverbs. So January 1st read Proverbs 1, January 1st read Proverbs 2. So I started doing that because I didn't know what else to study, and I wanted to get back into practice with studying the Bible every single day, like how I used to do, but I took a break, unfortunately. And I was doing that with the book of Proverbs, and as I was reading back to back, like Proverbs 6 through 9, it's all about women, which I never realized that until I actually read it back to back. But it's not just about any woman, it's about an adulterous woman. This is what I absolutely love so much about this chapter. I'm not going to read it all. I want you guys to read it on your own time because it's amazing. I want to read the titles though. Chapter 6 title is Warning Against Folly, and another title in that chapter is A Warning Against Adultery. Chapter 7, Warning Against the Adulterous Woman, and Chapter 8 is Wisdom Calls. And then Chapter 9 is Invitations of Wisdom and Folly. I want you guys to read it on your own time because I'm not going to read the entire chapter for you, although I would love to. I just don't think you want to sit through all that. But if you do, let me know. I would be so happy to. But in Chapter 8, wisdom is described as a her. Scratch that. Chapter 9. Wisdom is described as a her. Wisdom has built her house. She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has set out her servants. But the other thing that is also described as a female is folly. Before we go into the folly, chapter 9 verse 6 says, leave your simple ways and you will live and walk on the ways of insight. And chapter 9 verse 10 says, the fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So let's fast forward a little. Chapter 9, verse 12, if you are wise, your wisdom will reward you. But if you are a mocker, you alone will suffer. So I'm actually going to read chapter 9, verse 13 to 18. Folly is an unruly woman. She is simple and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Let all who are simple come to my house. To those who have no sense, she says, stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious, but little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead. I guess this is kind of for men, but I don't really see men really watching my video, but this is also for women too, because we have to understand the true power that we actually hold. There's a saying that the men are the head, but the women are the neck. And at first I thought it was clever because it made me feel like, oh hey, well yeah, I gotta say it too, really. But now I actually take it seriously because women really are the neck. The men that women allow into their life can either be the folly or the woman of the wise. The woman of the wise will lead them in the ways of righteousness, will build her house on rock and not sand. Because she's wise, because she has the fear of the Lord, because she knows the power that she has as a woman and she uses it for good. But folly is an unruly woman. That is the woman that leads the man to the left, the way that when he's on a straight path, she calls out to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Let all who are simple come to my house. And those who have no sense, she says, stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious. But little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead. That is the woman turning the neck of the man to the other side, knowing that it's wrong. Because she knows the power that she holds, she either doesn't care or she thinks it's liberating. Let me just go bring all these men and have them lust after me and lead them down the path of destruction. And the men who are just so captivated by just women in general and they're full of lust, or they're just clueless in general, those subconscious men, those are the men who are going to fall for it. Or even worse than all of that, conscious men who know the power that women have, but they want to do it anyway. That is the path of destruction that they're being led on. And the only thing in common that those two types of women have is that they know the power that they hold just by being a woman. The thing that the folly woman, that verse that I read, verse 13 through 18, what is described as a folly woman is described as the adulterous woman and the seductress woman. But another thing in this world that is described as the seductress is the dark feminine energy, which is not true, which is a huge misconception. So when women are in their dark feminine energy, they think that it's wearing dark makeup and dressing very sexy and seductive and attempting to promote lust, but that's not what dark feminine energy is. Dark feminine energy, yeah, it may have a little bit to do with how you do your makeup differently and how you dress differently, but it's mostly about your presence and the aura that you hold with being in the dark feminine energy. It is not the foolish woman, it is not the seductress woman. The Bible, I believe in Songs of Songs, if you have different types of Bibles, like I had the NIV version Bible, I think also in the Amplified version Bible, it talks about how she's in her feminine. God designed us as women to be in our feminine energy. Like we have an aura that he gave us. Light feminine energy and dark feminine energy, it's a part of being a woman. But you have to get past the misconceptions of what the world tells you dark feminine energy is, because that's when you'll get in trouble and you'll get trapped and you'll lead men on the path of destruction, but you will also lead yourself on the path of destruction as well. And God knew that was going to be the case. He knew what he was doing when he created a woman, which also goes back to the book of Exodus. Is it the book of Exodus where Moses goes up to the mountain and he has a talk with God, and God makes him write the 10 commandments on the stones, and one of the commandments is thou shalt not lust or go after one's wife. Why is that in there? I like that that's in there, but why, like, the reason as to why it was in there never really crossed my mind. I didn't care. I'm just like, okay, what's the 10 commandments? So if it's in the 10 commandments, it's in the 10 commandments. So why was it in there? Because they would kill for it. Because who wouldn't want to fight for their treasure, which is the woman? He who finds a wife finds a good thing. I don't really see that man that found that good thing just letting some other man just go up and take it from them. I see them wanting to fight, because some men are straight warriors. And I'm not talking about the adulterous woman who goes and cheats. I'm talking about the woman that loves her husband, that's devoted to her husband, but there's still another man trying to take her from her husband, even though he can't. Not only is that lust, but that's just asking for bloodshed if that man found that good thing. And even to this day, I'll hear stories. Hey, why'd you kill the man? Oh, he had sex with my wife. I killed him. He's in jail now. Like, it didn't go away. Sex and women make men think crazy sometimes. We can talk about King David, for example. He was watching some other man's wife, shower or something, so he took the wife and he sent her husband into war and he killed him. What did God do? When they had a child, the first child died. That was the punishment, I believe. Don't quote me. But it's something that still goes on now. It just, instead of swords and sending them off into war, it's just straight up violence and killing and shooting. It hasn't gone away. It's just been more normalized and filtered because of the foolish woman and those men who are not subconsciously aware of what the power that women hold. And of course, because some men and women are just careless about each other's emotions, which isn't a good thing. But that's not the topic for this session. So when we as women understand the power that we actually hold, the God-given gift that God gave us, the power within us, then and only then can we unlock our feminine energy essence in the healthiest and fruitful and beneficial way possible. How might we do that? Well, that's for another session. That is all I have for this episode. I'm actually so happy that my camera did not cut off, because this is my second time filming this. My first time filming it was actually months ago, and it cut off because I ran out of storage because I filmed on my phone. But I am so thankful, like, Thank God it did not cut out. I have so many more topics I can't wait to talk to you guys about, but that is all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in with my childhood room. I really pray that this video was actually helpful for you. I love making videos like this so much, and I cannot wait to see you all in our next session. Bye, loves.